Hello everybody, Raven Knight here. Got a very special treat for you guys today. Some of you may remember that I did this video some time ago, For Honor crossover with Warhammer 40,000, and what I did in that video was I basically showed you how to build some of your characters to make them like Warhammer 40,000 characters or factions or groups, and that went over really well. A lot of people really seemed to like it, and they were asking me if I'd do a sequel, like a follow-up, and I thought about it, and yeah, you know what? I thought that I would. So today I've got 6 more builds to share with you guys. 6 more builds to make your characters look like Warhammer 40,000 characters. Really excited to share those. If you didn't watch the first one, go check it out. You'll get to see a lot of really cool stuff that we put together. But this time we got 6 more to share. So let's get right into it. Starting off with one of my favorites. Many of you guys have seen this if you've seen me stream. But today we're going to take a look at the Lawbringer Dark Angel. Now, I already did a Dark Angel Warden, but I felt like this Lawbringer Dark Angel would look even better, and I was right. It looks absolutely killer. Now, I'll go ahead and tell you guys that this color scheme that I'm using doesn't quite fit with the modern Dark Angel look that you see in Warhammer 40,000. This is more of a pre-heresy Dark Angel, back when they still had the black armor. So here's what you want to build to make this work. You need the Darosh helm, the Falstaff chest, and the Isocres arms. I can't speak today. For the weapon, you need the Lion's Roar axe, Lion's Roar shaft, and Lion's Roar spike in reference to their Primarch, Lion L. Johnson. So that is how you get this epic look. All right, so moving on. For traits, it's really not going to matter skin color. You know, you're not going to see it. For the head, no paint pattern, no symbol. Embossing, you want Paisley 1, which you get at Reputation 3, level 20, to add that nice little rustic, very textured look. For the ornament, now you could do one of two things here. I went with the Armored Lion ornament. I think that works really well because, again, ode to the lion. But you could also go with the Avenging Angel, which would tie into the fact that they are the angels of death, the Dark Angels, so I thought that would work as well. Or you could go the Flying Lion. I think that one would work as well, but the Flying Lion doesn't look quite as good as the Armored Lion, in my opinion. So, tit for tat. Okay. Next, right shoulder. For right shoulder, no paint pattern, but the symbol. You want to make the Dark Angels logo, and I will make a separate video right after this showing you guys how I did it, okay? So don't worry, I will teach you guys how I made the Dark Angels logo sometime after this, all right? But it's a pretty simple build to make. Okay, no embossing. For the left shoulder, the exact same thing. No paint pattern, the Dark Angels emblem, no embossing. Okay, material. You want the tar material, because it's going to give you that nice shiny black look. Okay, for the chest and back, paint pattern none, symbol none, embossing. I went with the Sword Angel because, again, they are angels of death, and I think that fits very well. The other option, honestly, if you really wanted to, you could go the lion right here, Lion 1. So you could go that if you wanted, but I like the angel better. For the standards, okay, paint pattern. You want the abstract paint pattern, which you get at Reputation 13, level 6. You want the Dark Angels emblem again, no embossing, okay? And now for the paint pattern. Everyone's wondering, what's a paint pattern? You want Dry Blood, which you get at level 7. Probably the best paint pattern you're gonna get. Looks a lot like an old school Dark Angel. All right, now for the feats. I gave Harsh Judgment because if you know anything about the Dark Angels, they are harsh judges. They, you know, that their whole thing is that they are putting you on trial. They are looking out for the fallen, looking out for heresy. They give that harsh judgment. Righteous Deflection, parry to gain high damage reduction for a short time. They will always counterattack. The Punyo Mortis and Igneous Ember, just, you know, how can you go wrong with these? You know, that's very Dark Angels-esque. It's very Space Marine-esque. For executions, I went with Backbreaker, Sto Pro Veritate, Tene Cursum, and Vis Morales. I thought these worked very well. I thought these were very strong, very powerful executions that really reminded me a lot of the Dark Angels. For emotes, I went with Recognition and Banner of Arms. Now, the Banner of Arms will work really well if you add the Dark Angels emblem to it. And my Liege and Mac de Virtute. My Liege and Mac de Virtute. All right. For signature, On My Honor. I think that one just fits well for most of the knights, honestly. And then for effects, I went with Vortigern's Dark Oath for the idol, because the Dark Angels have taken a very dark oath, so I think that fits. For executions, free roam, and combat, I use glowing eyes, so you need the glowing eyes effect, because Space Marines have them glowing eyes under their helmets, you know what I'm saying? So that is how you build the Dark Angels Lawbringer. So let me know what you think, guys. Let me know if you're going to build this guy yourself. Actually, he's pretty easy to build, so I think that y'all will have fun making him. I really like this one. So, yep, absolutely. You actually saw me use this in my video where I joined Wextra in a Dominion match. So you've seen this character before if you watch that video. All right, next, while we're still on the Knights, we have a Sister of Battle Black Prior. A Sister of Battle Black Prior. Now, I actually just did a video not too long ago on the Sisters of Battle, or the Adeptus Sororitas, so I thought it would be fitting to try to make a Sister of Battle myself and for honor. Now, I tried with Nobushi, and I tried with Peacekeeper, but none looked quite right. But this one, I think, is the best one we've done so far, so we're going to use this one. Okay, so here's what you need. You need the Vasago Helm, Aphroctum Chest, Vasago Arms. Pretty simple. Vasago Helm, Aphroctum Chest, Vasago Arms. For the weapon, you need the Vanilla Blade, Nether Malice Hilt, and Archaic Magnificus Shield. I chose the Archaic Magnificus Shield because even though that is a Black Prior on it, if you look at a lot of art and weaponry that you see in 40k, they often put statues or images of saints or primarchs or warriors on their weapons, and I thought that would fit. As for the sword itself, the hilt looks a lot like what you'd see in a Warhammer 40,000 sword hilt, and the blade, the thorny kind of look, just fit the Sisters of Battle. Okay, next for traits. You do need to make them an body type 2 or female for this because it is a Sister of Battle, and skin color, default is fine. Now, chest, you want the Twin Lightning paint pattern, which you get at Reputation 26. You want the Fleur de Lis symbol, which you get at Reputation 3, level 9. No embossing. The Fleur de Lis is going to be very important for this, just so you know. The ornament, you want Fallen's Justice, because the whole Weeping Angel motif is going to fit very well here. All right. For right arm, you want the vertical line paint pattern, which you get at Reputation 1, level 8. No symbol. And you want the Skull 1 embossing, which you get at Reputation 17, level 20. For the left arm, absolutely nothing other than, I forgot about this, my fault, other than the symbol, the Fleur de Lis, which you get at Reputation 3, level 9. It's going to sit right above the Black Prior's head, which is going to look really good. For the material, you want tar, but with 1 override. You want the chest to be white iron, because what that will do is you'll notice the studs running along the belt brace. They will look a little bit lighter, and I think that looks very good. So you want 1 override on the chest. You want white iron for the chest, okay? For the back, you want the Twin Lightning again, which you get at Reputation 26. You want the Fleur de Lis again, which you get at Reputation 3, level 9. No embossing. For the legs, no paint pattern, no symbol, but you want the Eagle embossing, which you get at Reputation 27, level 20. However, if you don't want to put anything there, that is totally fine, because you're really not going to notice it all that much anyway. See? So don't even worry about it. And then for the color palette, you ready? The color palette is War, which you get from the Death by Metal week 1. If you did not do this event, you have my sympathies. I suppose you could try making it a Sister of the Bloody Rose by going Horko's Sanguinity, but yeah, if you want to make a like straight up, you need War, okay? Okay, moving on. For the feats, I went Sinister Shield, Doom Banner, Oathbreaker, and Umbral Shelter. Now, I went with Sinister Shield because Sisters of Battle, Sisters of Battle have faith in them. You know, the whole point of the Sisters of Battle is that they fight with their faith, and their faith allows them to perform miracles. So I thought that Oathbreaker, Umbral Shield, and Sinister Shield would all be good examples of them calling upon their faith to bring about a miracle. The Doom Banner is just because once they put their standard in the ground, the Sisters will not waver. So I thought that would fit. For executions, you want Mala Ultrad Sunt, the Solar Flare, Vi Victus, and Revenant Slayer. Now, if the Revenant Slayer and Solar Flare don't just scream for the Emperor to you, I don't know what to say. Vi Victus just shows impressive agility and stamina, and Mala Ultra Adsunt just gives you a good look at the face, which, yeah, we'll talk about that. For emotes, I went with Mutual Respect and Threatening, and I also went with Vortiger's Ascent and Reverence. All of these show the piety of the Sister of Battle. For signature, I went with Devotion, again showing the piety. And then for effects, okay, I went with Hellfire for Idol, Super Flaming Rage for the executions, which you can only get from that limited time anime outfit. So if you don't have that, just use Hellfire, or you can use Bursting Flame. Any of those are fine, because I use Bursting Flame on the free roam emotes and Hellfire on the combat emotes. But if you don't have Super Flaming Rage, use any of those others. But Super Flaming Rage, I think, works so well because that angry, screaming rage, that's kind of very much a Sister of Battle. Just, just, for the Emperor! Like, just, it just fits. And that is how you build the Sister of Battle Black Prior. I think it looks really good. I think it came out great. Let me know what you guys think, and let me know if you're going to build her yourself. I think it came out awesome. All right. Next up, while we're still in the Knights, we'll do one more. We're going to go to Griffin, and we're going to build an Iron Warrior Griffin. Now, for those who don't know, we haven't talked much about the Iron Warriors in my videos. The Iron Warriors are one of the traitor legions. They are the sons of Perturabo, and I figured I'd try to build an Iron Legion out of Griffin, and it turned out pretty stinking good. So let's go ahead and take a look at how you build that. First, you need the Protector alternate helm. You need the Protector alternate chest, and the Ardentis arms. Let's do that again. Protector alternate helm, Protector alternate chest, Ardentis arms. All right, so now for the weapon. You need Avant-Garde Exquisitor Blade, Avant-Garde Exquisitor Shaft, Avant-Garde Exquisitor Pommel. The whole thing about the Iron Warriors is that they are siege masters, but they are also forgers, and they build a lot of their own weaponry and gear, and this makes it look like it was a built device, so I thought that would work. For the traits, default 1, skin color, I would honestly go a little darker, maybe not super light or default, but maybe the second tier, because it's going to fade a bit more into the helmet, and I think that will work really well. For the chest, no paint pattern, no symbol, but I use the Tempest Smoxfisker embossing because it's probably the closest thing we have right now to the actual emblem of the Iron Warriors, so I tried to use that. For the ornament, I didn't use anything. For the right shoulder, no paint pattern, no symbol. I went with the Caltrops embossing to show some texture. For the left shoulder, I did the exact same thing with the Caltrops, but I added the paint pattern half chevron, because one thing that you notice a lot on an Iron Warrior form is they have this paint pattern where it looks like lines that are yellow and black. Now, I thought about using this, the 3 diagonals, but the problem is it's too spaced out for what they do. So I went with this one, which is a little bit different, but it's a little bit more closer to what the Iron Warriors would have. Now the material, tar, because the Iron Warriors use black as their color scheme, black and yellow. For standards, I used the three diagonals here on the standards, and I use Caltrops. For the back, this one I use Triangle Chevron, which you get at Repetition 20 level 8, because I think it looks very, very nice, especially when you add that embossing that we talked about earlier. So, sorry, it doesn't show it here, so there we go. There it is, the Tempest Smoxfisker. Okay. And now for the color scheme. The color scheme is Famous Savagery 3, which you get from the Year 9 Season 1 Battle Pass. So if you guys have been playing this first season, you should already have this. Okay? Okay. Now, for feats. The Stern Stare, Flesh Wound, Tough as Nails, and Draconite Cleanser. So Stern Stare, Flesh Wound, and Tough as Nails tie into the fact that the Iron Warriors are tough as balls. Okay, these guys are some of the toughest, most ferocious, most absolutely busted warriors that the Traitor Legions have to offer. They basically carried the Horus Heresy for the majority of it. So honestly, these guys are going to be your tough as nails fighters. And then the Draconite Cleanser, they need a good explosion. All right, executions. I used Avant-Garde Artificer, No weapon needed. Ilma's Scythe. And heads will roll. Okay, so to explain, the Avant-Garde Artificer ties into them being Artificiers. No weapon needed shows how tough they are even without weapons. Ilma's Scythe, the Iron Warriors are known to make demon engines, where they trap literal warp demons inside their weaponry or vehicles or armor. And so I thought this would be a good tie into that. They have a weapon of demonic power. And then Heads Will Roll shows their absolute brutality. For emotes, I used Rallying Cheer, Horko's Trophy Head, to show their brutality again, Call to Arms, and Choosing a Target. All those should fit. Signature, I used Avant-Garde Smithy, probably the closest we're going to be able to get to something good there. And then for effects, I used Hell Gate for the idol. But for everything else, I use Heretic Acolyte, which you got from the Year 7 Season 1 Battle Pass. Because that helm, that look that he has, looks very similar to what an Iron Warrior might wear on his head. Well, as close as you can get without it being a Space Marine helm. So, that is how I built the Iron Warrior Griffin. Let me know what you guys think. I really like how this one came out. I think it is a good design. But now we're done with the Knights. And we got 3 more to go. So let's jump over to the Vikings, where after much requesting, I made a Space Wolf Warlord. This was difficult, and it will cost you some heavy steel to make, but it is close to what a Space Wolf will look like. So let's go into it. For the helm, you want the Minkar helm, but I'll be honest, you could probably go with just about any helm and still be fine, so don't be restricted by that. For the chest, you want the Laxdala chest and the Vestry arms. The Vestry arms is going to be important. For the weapon, you want Invincible Motor Blade, Invincible Motor Hilt, and Invincible Motor Shield, because it's going to give you that wolf theme, which for the Space Wolves kind of makes sense. For traits, default 1, skin color, default, all's fine. For the head, you want the Celtic Weave 1 paint pattern, which you should automatically have. The symbol will be Infinity Wolf, which you get from Reputation 20. But I'll be honest, you probably don't need it because it's going to be covered by the ornament, which we'll talk about in just a minute. The ornament, Bone Crown, because it has a wolf on it. Are you noticing a theme? For the right shoulder, no paint pattern. The symbol will be Lycan Growl 1, because it's got that wolf on it. If you don't have Lycan Growl and you don't want to spend the steel, because like I said, this is going to be a lot of steel, that's fine. You can try using the Horko Sunderer, which you get from the Year 5 Season 1 Legacy Pass, or Premium Pass at Tier 84. For left arm, no paint pattern, no symbol, no embossing. Leave that shield alone. I would actually love it if we could put a wolf on the left arm, because that's where the normal emblem would be, but you can't do that with Warlord. For the paint pattern, for the material, this is where things get complicated. The base is going to be this. The base is going to be, hold on, why is it not, there we go, Celeste. For some reason, my screen wasn't changing. I don't know if y'all saw it change, but it wasn't changing for me. Celeste is going to be your primary paint pattern, but there are going to be 2 overrides. For the left shoulder, you want Marigold. And for the right shoulder, you want Red Current. Okay? Now, here's why. If you look at a typical Space Wolf armor set, they have a light blue sort of armor set, but then they have a red right shoulder and a yellow left shoulder. So that's why I went with this. Some of you are going to say, that looks weird. Thank you. Those are the Space Wolves. Anyway, bent bars, paint pattern for the chest, which you get at Reputation 9 level 6. Symbol will be Infinity Wolf again. Embossing, nothing. Standards. Lycan Howl paint pattern is fine, but again, if you don't want to waste the money on that, I would say Horko's Illusionist 1. So, yeah. No symbol, no embossing. And the color scheme that you want. This is important, guys. It took me some time to decide. I went with Chimera Diplomacy, which you get from the Chimera Banquet Event Pass. And we're getting the Chimera Banquet again very soon. So if you don't have it, this might come back. So brace yourself. All right. For the feats. I went with Rush, Juggernaut, Tough as Nails, Auto Revive. Because the Space Wolves will rush through anything. They can tank anything. They are tougher than everyone else. And it doesn't matter if you kill them, they still win anyway. So, Auto Revive. I don't like the Space Wolves. Executions, smack in the face. Nailed down. Attitude adjuster. And the back slammer. Because I thought these were all very brutal. For the emotes, well done, and thunderclap. And then bang your drum, and paired head to head. Because Space Wolves. Signature, strength of the bear. No, they need to change that to strength of the wolf. Come on, let's be honest here. And then finally for effect. Okay, I used Spirit of the Wolf for everything, which you got from the Goodmunder event Illustrious outfit. If you did not get this, then your best chance is to go for another wolf thing, which is where you can either do the lycanthrope, where you can cosplay a wolven or a furry, whichever. Or you can try to get that cool wolf effect that came with one of the Horkos battle passes. But those would be my recommendations. And that is your Space Wolf Warlord. Hope you guys enjoy. All you Space Wolf fans out there, I hope you like it. I probably won't play this build very much, but hey, there we go. All right, next up, we're moving on to the Samurai, where we made another Traitor Legion out of a Hitakiri. We made an Emperor's Children Hitakiri. Now this was a little bit tricky, I won't lie. So, how do we build this? Miyoshino helm, Taikyu chest, Hanata Kontengu arms. For weapon, Horkos Maija head, Horkos Maija shaft, Chasm of Horkos pommel. Okay? So, here's why we look like this. Because the Emperor's Children are effing degenerates. They are debase, they are disgusting, they are obsessed with just decadence and hedonism and doing absolutely awful things. To put it in perspective, when the Emperor's Children are so awful that wherever they go, reality itself weeps. So I thought Hitakiri would be a perfect warrior to represent them, and trust me, it works. So that's how you make them look like that. Here's the traits. You can go either one, alternate 1 or alternate 2, because for the Emperor's Children, gender is a suggestion. It's Slanesh, what are you gonna do? For skin color, honestly, whatever works for you, it really doesn't matter. Like, I went with paler because every time I look at an Emperor's Children, they always have milk pale skin, so I just went with that. Chest, Horkos Illusionist 1. Symbol, nothing. Embossing, bird, which you get at Reputation 22, level 20. The reason I chose bird, because the Emperor's Children are currently working under the name of the Phoenix Conclave. So there you go. Ornaments, I went with Invincible Greatness, because it's the closest to looking like an eagle wing, which is what the whole look of the Emperor's Children emblem is. For the right arm, Horkos Illusionist 1, no symbol, no embossing. For the left arm, Lasting Flower, which you should already have. The Eye of Kaidan, which you should have gotten from the Hitakiri event. And no embossing. For material, gold. Material, you want gold, because the whole color emblem, the whole color scheme of the Emperor's Children is purple and gold. Okay. For the back, you want Horkos Illusionist 2. Symbol, nothing. Embossing, nothing. Now, you might be wondering, why am I going with the Horkos Illusionist? Because they look like a Rorschach test, and according to the lore, looking at chaos symbolism or imagery can give you a headache or can make you go insane. So I thought that would work. For the feet, nothing. I didn't really add anything. You can add what you want there. Colors, here it is. Ecliptic Skies. You need the Ecliptic Skies color palette, which you get from the Battle of the Eclipse event pass, which hopefully you have. All right. So, here's what's next. Next, for the feats, you need Deliverance, Tainted Gift, Nukekubi, and Senbon Zakura. Deliverance, And Tainted Gift represent the hedonism of the Emperor's Children because they're going to go for their target and go for their hedonistic lifestyle, whatever anyone else says. Nuke Kubi because they gain stamina just from doing their awful actions. And Sinbon Zakura, well, it's just a good feat for Hitakiri. Executions, I went with Hitobashira. Fatal Diversion. Singen Shua. Yato's Parasite. Yato's Parasite. I like Yato's Parasite and Hitobashira because they're drawn out, and an Emperor's Child would draw out the killing. And this one, oh yeah, I forgot that this one was a little drawn out too. And then Fatal Diversion, it's not as drawn out, but the noise it makes is fitting because the Emperor's Children are sometimes called Sound Marines or Noise Marines because they make terrifying, haunting noises. So I thought that would work. Emotes, Ikon Sinban, Zenketsurinri. The making himself bleed, I think, fits. In combat, bold and strong, and Goku Kaiden. Honestly, it's not going to matter what you give here because it's all going to be the same. Signature, assertive attitude, because they want to make a statement. And then effects, I really didn't add any because I couldn't find any that I thought really fit them very well, but you can add what you want. And that is the Emperor's Children Hitakiri. What do you guys think? Let me know if you're going to build this one. I'm not as proud as this one because I think Hitakiri needs a bit more before we can make that official. But if you want to play a debased, hedonistic monstrosity, play Hitakiri. I mean the Emperor's Children. All right. That brings us to the last one I've got, and I will go ahead and warn you, it's not done yet. The White Scars Hatun. All right. So I have been doing my best to get my Hatun repped up as soon as possible because there's one specific symbol I need to complete the look, and I don't have it yet because I need to be a certain rep. I thought about waiting until I got to that rep, but it's going to take a while. So I figured I'd go ahead and show you what I'm planning, and then I'll let you guys know when I get there, okay? So here's what you need. You need the Gul'jin alternate helm, the Gul'jin alternate chest, and the Amar Amaglian alternate arms, okay? For the weapon, you can go default. It is totally fine. It's not going to matter what you go here because honestly, none of the weapons look great for what I'm trying to do. Okay? Traits, not going to matter. Chest. For the chest, no paint pattern, no symbol, no embossing. But, well, I should backtrack. The symbol I want. Let me show you guys the symbol I want so you guys know what I'm aiming for. Here it is. This is what we want. We want the Thunder Moon symbol. This lightning bolt is exactly what we need to finish the look. Problem is, it's accessed at an outfit at Reputation 16, which means I don't have access to it yet. So once I get Hatun up to Reputation 16, I will put this on her, and we will probably make a few adjustments to make it stand out a bit more. But that is what we have right now. Okay? Okay. Now let's go ahead and get back to what we were doing. All right, for ornament, I didn't add anything. For the right arm, nothing. For the left arm, nothing. But once we get that symbol, that's changing. For the materials, okay. So we want white iron for the overall material, but we're going to have 3 overrides. We're going to have, well, 2 overrides because the standards will be white iron. I don't know why I did that. That's a little dumb of me. I'm stupid. All right, for the left and right arm, cinnabar. Because the color scheme of the White Scars is red and white, so it makes sense. For the standards, nothing until we get that lightning bolt. And then back, nothing until we get that lightning bolt. And then I may get creative. Like I said, this isn't finished. But the reason I'm sharing it with you is to show that it is one in progress. For the color scheme, I went candy, actually. I went candy for the color scheme. But since we don't have any paint pattern yet to work off of, this is what I've got so far. And now for the feats. Right now I'm using Relentless, Brutal, Tough as Nails, and Ultimate Punishment. I feel like Relentless and Brutal and Ultimate Punishment work really well because Relentless helps remove stamina issues for you, and the White Scars are known for being very, very energetic. Brutal means that you get extra damage from using your special abilities, and ultimate punishment, well, it's just one of the fastest attacks in the game, and because of that, yeah, the White Scars are fast. Tough as nails, because the White Scars have endured a lot of ignorance from the community. So there you go. Execution, go with your default executions because they fit very much what I think a Mongolian would be like, and the White Scars are Mongolians. And for the emotes, Mongolian Pride, Kneel or Die, Peaceful Break, and To Victory. Just keep it on the default for now. Signatures, Eagle Dance. And effect, until I get a better idea, no effect right now. I wish I could give her an eagle effect. But okay. And I know that this last one was a little disappointing because there's not a lot to it yet. The reason I wanted to show you this one is to show you that that is one that I'm working on. And once I get that done, I will release a full video breaking down how I built her. But I will not be finished until I get to Reputation 16 because I need that lightning bolt symbol. You know what I mean? But that is what I've got for the White Scars Hatun. Okay? Okay. So that is all of the current Warhammer 40,000 builds I have in For Honor. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section below if you enjoyed this video and if you're going to make any of these yourself. Right now, I don't have any further plans to make any more Warhammer 40k characters in For Honor. That may change. I may come up with more ideas in the future, but right now that's all I have and that's all I'm going to be working on. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you liked this video. Please leave a comment and a like, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.